Chapter 4. The sound grew wild, yet I remained still. I looked at the crowd, and everything felt out of rhythm, out of place. Nevertheless, it was their day. If the students chose to sweat, let them be. If some held girls by the waist like they would never let go, that was up to them, I thought. Water splashed onto me. I turned, only to see a boy holding a bottle of Ruwenzori. He wore a smile as if expecting a thank you. "Why are you laughing?" I snapped. "You should be grateful it wasn't urine. Ha ha." He disappeared into the crowd. "Come back here." I tried to follow, but I wasn't ready to push through the mass of bodies. The music grew louder. Boys showed off their best moves. Girls swayed in their arms as if they could hear all their secrets. My mind drifted to Jacob. Maybe he was getting along with Joan. This song could not keep them apart, I thought, as my eyes strained through the crowd. Among the many, one stubborn girl caught my attention. She was dancing in a way I couldn't ignore. Her waist twisted as though it had no bones. Her height and light skin blended into something that could only be called beauty. But her face was familiar. She was from our stream, the same girl who could hardly stay awake in class. I had seen her stagger to the back seat countless times just to doze off. Good heavens, she can pull off these moves without sleeping, I thought. I stepped closer, only for my eyes to land on Joan, locked in a tight dance with a boy. His face was turned away, so I wasn't suspicious at first. Maybe it's Jacob, I thought. Then I saw Jacob approaching from the opposite direction. I froze. "Ronix, what are you doing here alone? Can't you get a chick?" he said with a grin. I'm working on that. Where are you heading?" I replied, giving him my attention while subtly blocking his view. "Actually, I'm looking for Joan. Can you believe she left me outside and came in? This party will be boring if I can't find her." His voice carried frustration. I stole a glance toward Joan and the boy I hadn't noticed before. In that moment, I knew how bad things could get if Jacob saw them. I had to keep him away. I saw her go back outside. Maybe she's looking for you," I lied. "Really? How come we didn't meet?" he asked, already turning. I shrugged. He left with doubt still in his voice. "That was close," I muttered, exhaling deeply. Barely had I sent Jacob away when a strange voice cut through the air, followed by a sudden drop in the music. Tension filled the room. Some cursed as if the dance should never end. Others stood panting. On the pulpit stood a man, old in appearance, yet oddly youthful in stance. His large body made him look like a pumpkin with limbs. Some students laughed, but none dared ignore the seriousness in his eyes. A few began to leave before he even spoke. "It's over now," someone grumbled. Then the man took the microphone. His words clung to the air, from the mention of his name, Teacher Zagito, to his firm declaration that the dance had to end immediately. "It was getting late," he said. As I stepped out of the hall, Joan caught up with me. She spoke, but her words barely reached me. I was already irritated. How could she treat Jacob like that? After everything he had given her, how could she drop him so easily? "Ronix, I didn't see you back there. Why are you leaving too?" she asked, as if nothing had happened. "I was there. I saw you dancing with," I began. "Rogers," she cut in calmly. "That was Rogers. He has great moves. I enjoyed dancing with him." She spoke as though explaining something harmless to a brother. Well, I was there. Jacob too," I said, looking straight into her eyes. For a moment, she seemed uneasy. "You know what? I have to go." "See you," she said quickly, walking away. I remained still. My eyes wandered across the Midland complex. Hands in my pockets, thoughts scattered far beyond the moment. The sunlight faded in the west, leaving behind red-stained clouds. It was one of those Frio Friday evenings, as students liked to call them. The compound was nearly empty, except for a group at the court. 5 girls stood there, and among them one looked familiar. I had seen her before, in class, at the party, and now here. I found myself moving toward them as if pulled by something unseen. I wore a faint grin, my gaze steady. She noticed me approaching but showed no surprise, as though she had expected me. "Hi," I said. She kept dancing, practicing without music. This is beyond desire, I thought. Why would someone be this committed? "Maybe you should show me what you've got," she said. "You mean dance, without music?" I pretended reluctance. But there was one thing she hadn't learned yet. There is always someone better. I stepped in and gave her my best. The moonwalk, a touch of breakdance. The way her face lit up with every move I made told me everything. When she finally spoke her name, Queen, it felt fitting. Because in that moment I had become her king.